Chapters 23 to 30 of The Rule of St. Benedict. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Martin Geeson. The Rule of St. Benedict by St. Benedict of Nursia. Translated by Anonymous. Chapter 23 of Excommunication for Offences. If any brother be found stubborn, disobedient, proud, murmuring, or in any way gainsaying the holy rule, or contemning the orders of his elders, let him, in accordance with the precept of the Lord, be once or twice secretly admonished by them. If he amend not, let him be reprehended publicly before all. But if in spite of all this he do not correct himself, let him be subjected to excommunication, provided he understand the nature of the punishment. But if he remain obstinate, let him undergo corporal chastisement. Chapter 24. What the manner of excommunication ought to be. The measure of excommunication or punishment should be meted out according to the quality of the faults, but the estimation of their gravity shall depend upon the judgment of the abbot. If any brother be found guilty of small faults, let him be deprived of eating at table with the rest. The manner of his punishment shall be as follows. In the oratory he shall not intone a psalm or antiphon, nor read a lesson, until he has made satisfaction. He shall take his portion of food after the brethren have taken theirs, in such quantity and at such time as the abbot shall deem fit. If, for example, the brethren take their refection at the 6th hour, let him take his at the 9th. If the brethren take theirs at the 9th, let him take his in the evening, until by due satisfaction he obtain pardon. Chapter 25 of more grievous faults. Let that brother who is guilty of more grievous faults be denied both the table and the oratory. Let none of the brethren discourse with him, nor keep him company. Let him be alone at the work enjoined him, continuing in penance and sorrow, knowing that terrible sentence of the Apostle, who saith, that such a one is delivered over to Satan for the destruction of the flesh, that his spirit may be saved in the day of our Lord. 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 5. Let him take his portion of food alone, in such measure and at such time as the abbot shall think fit. Let not any one bless him as he passes by, nor the food that is given to him. Chapter 26. Of those who keep company with the excommunicated without the command of the abbot. If any brother shall presume, without the command of the abbot, to join himself in any way to the excommunicated brother, or to talk with him, or send him a message, let him incur the same penalty of excommunication. Chapter 27. How the abbot ought to care for the excommunicated. Let the abbot have a special care of the offending brethren, for they that are well need not the physician, but they that are sick. Matthew chapter 9, verse 12. He ought, therefore, like a wise physician, to use every means in their regard, and covertly send them, as comforters, some elderly and discreet brothers, to console, as it were secretly, the wavering one, and win him to make humble satisfaction. Let them comfort him, that he be not swallowed up by overmuch sorrow, but as the Apostle saith, let charity be confirmed towards him, and let all pray for him. 1 Corinthians 2:8. The abbot ought especially to have care, and with all prudence and industry, to see that he lose none of the sheep committed to his charge. Let him know that he hath undertaken the care of sick souls, and not a tyrannical authority over such as are well. Let him fear the threat of the prophet, by whom God saith, what ye saw to be fat, that ye took to yourselves, and what was diseased, that ye threw away. Ezekiel 34:3. Let him imitate the loving kindness of the Good Shepherd, who, leaving 99 sheep in the mountains, went to seek one that had gone astray, on whose infirmity he took such compassion, that he vouchsafed to lay it on his own sacred shoulder, and thus carry it back to the flock. Luke 15:4. Chapter 28. Of those who, being often corrected, do not amend. If any brother, after being corrected, or even excommunicated for any fault, doth not amend, let a sharper correction be administered to him, that is to say, let him be punished with stripes. But if, for all that, he do not correct himself, or being puffed up with pride, which God forbid, shall also defend his doings, then let the abbot act like a wise physician, and after applying the fomentations and ointments of exhortation, the medicines of the divine scriptures, and last of all, the punishment of excommunication and of scourging. Then, if he find that his labours have no effect, let him add what is more than all this, his own prayer and the prayer of the brethren for him, that the Lord, who can do all things, would vouchsafe to work a cure upon the infirm brother. If he be not healed and corrected by this means, then let the abbot use the sword of separation, according to that saying of the Apostle, put away the evil one from among you. 1 Corinthians 5:13. And again, if the faithless one depart, let him depart. 1 Corinthians 7:15. Lest one diseased sheep should infect the whole flock. Chapter 29. Whether the brethren who leave the monastery ought to be received again. If that brother, who through his own fault leaveth or is cast out of the monastery, be willing to return, he shall first promise to amend the fault for which he went forth. Then let him be received into the lowest rank, that by this his humility may be tried. If he go out again, let him be received back till the third time. But after this, let him know that all entrance will be denied him. Chapter 30. How children are to be corrected. Every age and understanding ought to have a measure of government suitable to it. As often, therefore, as children, or those under age, commit faults, and are incapable of understanding the greatness of the punishment of excommunication, let them be punished by rigorous fasting, or sharp stripes, that so they may be corrected. End of chapter 30. End of chapters 23 to 30.